Hello everybody, this is Ariane Arsenault from La Feuille de la Mer. We are in full swing holiday season, actually near Christmas, but we are still selling so many candles. And today I am making a batch of Crackling wooden wick candles in the beautiful Aura vessels. And I am using the coconut apricot creme wax from the Wooden Wick Co. And I'm going to show you how I make these today. This is what the final product will look like. So I paired the beautiful Aura vessels with the natural cork lid, and then I finished them with a red bow because it's the holiday season, and what a perfect gift. These are only available in store right now, but I will be releasing my line of Aura candles just before Valentine's Day. So stay tuned if you want to buy one. Right now my online store is closed because we are about to close the store too, and we need a break, we need a vacation. I have my wax already melted. It's on a pancake griddle, so it keeps it warm without like reheating it because I can adjust the temperature. And here I have my wooden wicks that are already inserted into the wooden wick clips. When making candles with wooden wicks, you don't need a centering tool because the wick basically holds itself up. And now I will proceed and use a wick sticker to adhere each wick into each Aura vessel. I like to get my wicks ready on a little roll or a little strip of the wick sticker tape. So I place all of my wooden wicks and then I am ready to center them into each jar. In the center of these jars, you can see that there's like a circle. Since these aren't clear, I cannot use my centering guide that we have made here, but I can look and go place it into the center. So I absolutely eyeball this. I have a good eye, so then I make sure, press down with my fingers and make sure that it's very well adhered to the bottom of the glass. And I am keeping this film on. This is how they arrived in the boxes. And just because I'm moving the jars around, I don't want to get the enameled like scratched or anything. So by keeping the little film on the bottom of my jars, I just protect them. So whenever I post on social media or here on YouTube about making candles or anything, I get lots of questions asked. And already on social media and on Facebook groups where I shared pictures of these candles that I made, I've had so many people ask me which wick that I use to make these. And here's my answer. Depending on the wax that you're using and the vessel you're using, because the diameter of the vessel is like closely in relation to the size wick you need to use. For these candles, I went over to the Wooden Wicks website. They have a wick selection guide, and you can tell them the diameter of the vessel you are using, the type of wax, and then they will recommend you a type of wick. And that's what I did. So if you want to try making these, you can go to the Wooden Wick Co.'s website. They also have sample kits, which includes all of their wicks. I have 2 of those, and I've been testing with the Aura vessel since last March, and I am only now releasing my line for different reasons. I tested a lot, and then COVID happened, and I was sent back to home with my kids, and I'm not able to continue my testings. But my best advice is to buy the sample kit, make some tests, find what works best for you with the wax that you're using, because you may not be using the cocoa apricot creme wax. So just do some tests, and I'm sure you'll find great answers. Also, there's lots of information on the Wooden Wicks website. So, and it's fun to test also. All right, but if you want to know what I use, just go to the Wick selection guide and you'll know, because that's what I did. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and measure out the wax for each of my vessels. So depending on the type that I'm doing, like this is my last vessel for my caramelized pear and honey Aura candle. So I'm only going to be making one, but for the other jars, sometimes I have 3 or 4. I am out of some of my jars already, and I have more on the way. So that's what I'm going to be making today. But yeah, so each vessel has a scent, so it's easier for customers to remember their favorite scents by the color. Well, at least I find it's less confusing to choose. All right, let's go. This is what the candles look like after they've been poured. This one is the Golden Persimmon and Amber Cup fragrance candle. I renamed most of my scents, but they are all fragrances that I purchased from the Wooden Wick Co. They are phthalate and paraben free, and they also have some all natural fragrances depending on which line you choose. I really like this one. It's very comforting, very warm. Sadly, I am out of the golden vessels, but they are on the way. But I just wanted to show you that I decided to leave the wax uncolored because the vessels are already so beautiful that I didn't feel the need to add any colorant to my wax. I decided to start with the coconut and acai fragrance oil candle. I will be making 3 of these in the white iridescent aura. Look at how beautiful these vessels are. I am just in love with the iridescent line. They have the blue iridescent, and then this one, which is absolutely beautiful. So, all right, here we go. I'm gonna pour my wax for 3 candles and then add my fragrance oil. Always have paper towels on hand. Okay, so my fragrance oil now, and I am doing an 8% fragrance to wax ratio. That's what works the best for me. You can go up to 10% with the Wooden Wicks apricot coconut apricot wax. The coconut apricot cream. Oh my gosh. Anyways, let's pour this in. Any wax that has high amounts of coconut wax usually is better to work at a higher temperature. So I actually heated this wax and I'm keeping it between 190 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And then by the time I add the fragrance oil and I am ready to pour, it's usually at around 180, that's sharp on point, to 190. But those are the recommended pour temperatures for this specific wax. So I'm gonna move my container away from the scale, remove the wax. Now, I will be pouring my wax all the way to the tip of my wooden wick. And some people have asked me why I am filling so high. Well, the reason is quite simple. Wax expands upon heating and retracts upon cooling. So while I pour all the way to the tip of the wick, once my wax will be completely cooled, and I will show you that, I will have my perfect amount of wick left above the wax, which is 3/16 of an inch or 5 millimeters, and I will barely have to trim anything off my wax, my wicks. All right, this is gonna be a hard pour because it's very full. Voila. Okay. I'm gonna bring this closer to the camera so you can see where my wax stops. See, there's barely any part of my wick above the wax, but I promise it will go down once it's cooled. Okay, now we'll do the caramelized pear and honey. Just making one of these. This fragrance is so warm, sweet, and just with the perfect crispiness of pears. I love it. It's a perfect fragrance for winter, all the way through spring. All All right. And I don't need to put this on the scale because I know that I have just the correct amount of wax for one candle in here. So let's go ahead and pour this down. Next up is the beautiful gunmetal aura vessel, and I'm filling this one with a sweet fudge and maple cream scented wax. It's actually from the maple chai and sweet cream, but I renamed it here because we make lots of sweet fudge in the islands. It's like a classic recipe, so I renamed it after a local tradition. Next batch, I am using the apple rind plus cinnamon fragrance oil. This is my candle that I called Apple Heart and Cinnamon in this amazingly beautiful aura vessel. Next up, the blue iridescent aura vessel that will be filled with a berry scented wax. I am using the blackberry saffron, and it smells very fruity, very berry-like. And the last for today, the matte blush aura vessel. It will be filled with the tangerine and peach tea fragrance oil. Yay, they're all done. Now I'm gonna let these cool completely, and then I will come back to show you what they look like cooled. We will put labels, warning labels, and the beautiful cork and bows. The candles have been setting for about 2 hours. The wax is firm enough that I can move these to apply the warning labels and the candle labels, but not firm enough to be sold. They're still warm. They'll have to cure for a little while. So I have my warning labels on the bottom. They're pretty big because here in Quebec, we have regulations and everything needs to be labeled in French and English. And I use these sticker labels that I get from Online Labels. I print them on my laser printer, and then I hand laminate them, which is why they're glossy, and I stick them to the bottom of each vessel. Okay, so I align with the wax, with the wick, and voila. The next step is to apply the candle label with the name of the fragrance and the burn time, the weight, and everything. These are also printed on labels from Online Labels, but these are full sheets that I also laminate, and I like for everything to be aligned. I don't know if I have OCD, but things need to be straight. So if the wick and the label and the bottom label don't align, it just makes me tick. All right, there we go. Okay, now let me show you. These are the first one that I've poured, the coconut and acai, and look at how much of the wick is sticking out of the wax. Remember, I poured almost all the way to the tip, and let's take a ruler and measure how much of wick we have above the surface. So we have just a little under 1/4 of an inch. So I won't need to trim this one much, but just a little tiny bit. So this is the reason why I pour so high, just because wax expands upon heating and it retracts upon cooling. So a little trick from me if you're a candle maker. Okay, so I'm just gonna trim the few wicks that are a bit too long. Just have a couple. And I'm pretty much done. Yep. Here are the cork lids. These are really nice. I love how they pair so well with the Aura vessel. The only thing before capping, I like to wipe them with a damp cloth because I don't know if it's because they've been banged up in transport, but they are dusty and the dust will fall into the wax. So I always kind of clean them, let them dry before. You see, this is only from cleaning 2 of the cork lids, so they need just a quick wipe. When you buy candles from me, they are always ready to be lit, whether they are a wooden wick candle or a traditional cotton wick candle. So you can just go ahead and light them up as is. We recommend that you burn them for at least an hour per inch of diameter. So these are over 3 inches wide, so I would definitely burn them in sessions of 3 to 4 hours at least. So once you turn your candle off, once you blow it out, the next day, this is what your candle is going to look like. So you will have some burned wooden wick on top. And it's very important between each session that you remove the burnt wick. So you can do this 2 different ways. You can either pinch the burnt wood off. This is another one. This one is a little deeper. I've had it for a longer time. So you can just take your fingers and reach down and twist off the burnt wick. So that's what it's gonna look like. Make sure that there's no debris in the wax and you're ready to light. The other option is to use a wick trimmer and to just trim and cut the wick at the correct length, just like this. What's neat about the wick trimmers is that they are kind of a little receptacle and they will hold the burnt piece of wood, so you can just discard them once you've cut and trimmed the wick. One thing you may not know about candle makers is that we are nuts about candles. We always have a ton burning at home, but we burn them safely. So to light a wooden wick, I really like the barbecue lighters, especially when you have to go down in a large container. I like to tilt them to the side so that the flame lights the whole width of the wick. Same thing for this one. Voila, now we can enjoy our wooden wick crackling candles. These will be lit for about 3 to 4 hours, and let's listen to the crackle now. Once the candles are done, I just put the cork lids on them, and then I take a raffia ribbon and I make a bow, because my friend Zahida told me to put a bow on them because they were so beautiful and the perfect gift. And I listened to her advice. Thanks, Zahida. All right. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, I will link her YouTube channel right up there. Zahida is the owner and creator of Handmade in Florida. She makes amazing soaps, wax melts, solid bubble bath, and other goodies for the skin. So check her out. I'm happy to have her as a friend. And sometimes I send her pictures of what I do, and I ask her for advice on labeling, on you know, the final look of my products. We also admin a Facebook group together that is called Makers Collab, and you are welcome to join if you're a maker of any Horizon soap, cosmetics, candles. And we also, like the group members, help each other and share their creations in the group. All right, let's tie a bow. Let's make this centered. Voila. Ta-da! And that's how I get them ready for sales. All right, I think they look very chic, very luxurious. They are amazing. They will burn 65 hours plus, and they will be on my website just in time for Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed the creative process of making candles in these beautiful aura vessel using the Crackling wooden wicks. I love making candles. I think it's relaxing, it's soothing, as much as making them, as burning them. So thank you again for watching. I think this may be my last video of the year. Then we are taking a well-deserved break, and I will be back in the new year for sure. I will post on social media. In the meantime, have a great holiday season. Take care and stay safe, everyone.